Hello, I'm Joe Walensky, and I'm visiting with some of the presenters who will be at our ConveyUX event in Seattle in February. And right now I'm with Whitney Quesenbery. Hello, Whitney, how are you?
Hi, Joe.
Where are you talking to us from today?
From sunny New Jersey. Had to check that it was sunny.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and it's actually sunny in Seattle as well, where I'm at. Now, if you're not familiar with Whitney, she's been involved with user experience for a long time. She was one of the early presidents of the UXPA organization. She's also written several books, including Storytelling for User Experience and Global UX. Uh, Whitney's going to be presenting a workshop and also a shorter session, and she's going to talk about those. The workshop's entitled Content for Everyone, and the shorter session is Writing Great Persona Stories. So, Whitney, why don't you give us a little taste of what you'll be talking about?
Well, Content for Everyone is actually part of my brand new book, which will be out January 6th. Very exciting, called A Web for Everyone, which looks at, when we think about accessibility, we usually think about horrible checklists, right? But the truth is, I think, especially for content, that good content makes it accessible for everyone, not both in the plain language sense, that is, it's clear, it's easy to understand, in the visual sense, it's designed well, and it's accessible for people using assistive technology. So I got into this field through technical writing. Actually, the first work I did was a manual for an early hypertext product, and I didn't know anything about how to do it. I just dived in, and for me, that manual was just me trying to talk to people. I was also doing tech support, so I was helping people use the product, and it was everything I thought I needed to tell people. And I worked hard on organizing it, and I learned a lot. But what people said about that manual was that it sounded personable. It sounded like someone was talking to them, having a conversation with them, and not barking at them, right? Not just barking a lot of instructions. And I think that when we think about the people we're writing for, then it becomes much easier to write in a way that helps us write with them instead of at them. And then that applies to things like having good headings and chunking up the content well, and using illustrations well, using media well, right? If we think about how to scan, if we're maybe we have a lot of stuff to say, so we're going to break it up. We're going to put headings on it. We're going to put those headings on it in a meaningful way. We're going to make them visually beautiful. We're going to make them meaningful. If I just scan the page, can I get the point from the headings? And if I'm using a screen reader, can I scan the page with a screen reader just as quickly? So by thinking about what we're trying to say, who we're saying it to, and how they're going to read it, when they're going to read it, and why they're going to read it, we get content that works for people much better.
Now, your other session is on writing great persona stories. So, what's going to be involved in that one?
So personas are the flip side of this, right? Personas are a way of gathering up all the user research we've done, everything we know about personas, whether it's a little tiny bit or a big bit about our audience, and putting it into a form that, instead of being kind of cold and dry and analytic, is a story of a person, right? We create a character, and we give them a name, and we give them some context and a backstory, and we can think then about how that person might meet our stuff, whether that stuff is a mobile app, or it's a website, or it's a service, or it's a piece of content. So when we write stories for them, we're really writing scenarios, but we're writing scenarios that add in the emotion, that add in the goals and the motivation that those people might have. And I think sometimes we write stories that go, Mary picks up our mobile phone, and my gosh, she uses our application and she loves it. And that's not a real story. That's a story we might hope to have, but it doesn't say Mary just got her new phone. She's a little frustrated because she doesn't quite understand it. She's really trying to find a restaurant. She pulls up our app. She doesn't really know the town she's in. It doesn't give you that complicated environment that is what real life is. And that's why I think stories help, because when we do a scenario or we do any of the models that we have, those models are about removing noise and getting to the clear, crisp thing that we're designing or that we're writing about. But stories help us add that noise back in, but in a way that's helpful to the design process.
All right, great. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts on this, and look forward to seeing your book when that comes out, and see you in Seattle in February.
See you in Seattle in February.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Hey, bye.